Why would I show her face? Well, next week is Crypto Week, and for Maxine and her friends, it's Crypto Hater Week. That's right, the crypto haters are out, and they're attacking. You know what it's called? Anti-Crypto Corruption Week for Maxine and the girls. We're also going to talk about some mergers and acquisitions in crypto. We'll talk XRP price action, Ripple looking to be a bank, and
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
they just can't leave it alone, can they? No, they cannot, as Maxine and her friends are now calling it the Anti-Crypto Corruption Week. Why not just focus on making like regs good for everyone? Why does it have to be this partisan bullshit happen in DC all the time? Now, before we get into the news, we'll talk price action, don't worry. Your comments come first. Why? Well, because you, the viewer, matter most. Artesian Bears by Old Grizz says Klaus watches the Y-Files. Of course I watch the Y-Files. Who doesn't? And what about a little bit of Joe Scott? Any Joe Scott fans in the house? TM Archive says, Klaus, thank you for keeping it real. All the other crypto channels have been making ridiculous XRP predictions for months. And now a slight pump and they're all saying I told you so. Yeah, I mean, even a broken clock is right twice, 2 times a day. I think that's how the phrase goes. Albin Jong says, last week I said this is going to be a shitty week for me at work. You said look positive. You were right. Bitcoin sitting at, we'll do price action at the end. But first, Core Scientific and CoreWeave announced a $9 billion merger amid hot ETF inflows and market reactions. The announcement of the $9 billion all-stock merger between Bitcoin miner Core Scientific and AI-focused CoreWeave represents one of the latest mergers in the crypto space. This is big because when players are doing mergers and acquisitions, that means the market is primed and ready for it. Trading on the NASDAQ, these companies are combining their strengths to create a powerhouse at the intersection of blockchain and AI. The deal was met with initial enthusiasm, but since Core Scientific stock has been downgraded. Why? Because they said most of the action has been priced in. Buy the rumor, sell the news. That's why I'm sharing you the story. More crypto milestones are expected in 2025 after the new BTC high. Yeah. With the possibility of a huge regulatory rug pull removed, hot, institutional investors have a green light to invest in the space in earnest. When it comes to mergers and acquisitions in the space, the Architect Partners report highlights that 78 mergers and acquisitions in Q2 was by far a record. This is what I've been talking about. Mergers and acquisitions are a really good indicator for things starting to brew, things starting to get juicy, because think about it. These players that are doing mergers and acquisitions, they know greener things are ahead. That's why they're doing the mergers and acquisitions. GMX hacker goes white hat, returns 40 million and sends the rest to Tornado Cash. Look, I just got to throw this out there because you know what? A lot of these exchanges, a lot of these dexes and whatever the hell you want to call them, they're getting hacked. But this player returned 5 million. Well, returned the money back to get 5 million. Some say crime doesn't pay, but blockchain data suggests that an attacker who exploited a flaw in GMX's code base earlier this week is walking away with 5 million. Okay, funds will be returned later, the individual said in an on-chain message on Friday. Hey, that's today. That's breaking news. That's right, you hit the subscribe button, SAs and SAs or SOs or SAs, whatever. Muchachos, muchachas. Now, that being said, I'm bringing this up because now that crypto is super hot, right? Now that things are super deep and green on the screen, be careful because grifters, hackers, scammers, schemes, they're going to be looking for your crypto. Ripple's bold move for a U.S. bank license sparks a surge towards... No, that did not spark the surge. Again, what sparked the surge when recent crypto prices? Regs, all right? So no, it has nothing to do with the bank, but some people out there, they're shitty journalists. They like to tie everything to Ripple news. No. Everything in the market is green. So is everything green because Ripple wanted to file for a bank? No, it's because of regulatory optimism. But now into the main story. Maxine Waters. Oh, fuck, man. All right, let's just get into it. Because remember, what's my job? Bring in the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. And this isn't like bad and sad. This is like depressing. Why? Because crypto was not a partisan topic 3 years ago, but now it is. This is from Eleanor. Her information's linked in the description down below, along with all the articles. To counter the GOP's Crypto Week, Representative Maxine Waters and Stephen Lynch are announcing Anti-Crypto Corruption Week. Nice. rallying the Dems to block the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the anti-CBDC bill, paving the way for what? Trump's crypto corruption. That's right. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, the top Democrat at the House Financial Services Committee, is like, yo, we need to stop this BS. Together, these bills have paved ways for massive crypto fraud and legitimized President Trump's crypto corruption, which has already netted him a staggering $1.2 billion. Okay, well then how about this, Maxine? How about instead of calling it Anti-Crypto Corruption Week, how about you call it Crypto Week, but you work with the Republicans on making regs that block corruption? Why do you have to have your own stupid thing? And my point here, no one wants to work with the other side. It's like the biggest divide ever. Crypto has become a political tool. This is what she said. My Republican colleagues are eager to continue doing the bidding for the crypto industry while conveniently ignoring the vulnerabilities and opportunities for abuse that exist in crypto. Lady, what about the abuse in the stock market? What about Pelosi's husband, who's a frickin' record-breaking stock trader? Maybe because his wife was what? Yeah, Speaker of the House and he got inside information. That's my problem that I have here. It's not crypto. It's corruption across the board, whether it's crypto, it's stocks, it's banking. Oh, what a fucking pain in the ass. She continues, especially given President Trump's acceptance of billions of dollars in investment in his family crypto business from foreign governments. The Republican-led Clarity Act and the Senate's Genius Act not will only further President Trump's corruption, but expose our financial stability, national security, and consumer protections. Essentially, what's going to happen here is what? Yeah. We are going to see what everyone, the Dems, dig their heels in. And look, someone's got a video of Maxine Waters blowing kisses to SBF. It was cool when they were getting the funds from him. But now that my boy's in jail, it ain't going to happen anymore. I guess what the big takeaway here is what, everyone? You're going to have a fight. And this may not be the cleanest thing that gets out. Now, will the Genius Act pass for stablecoins? That's our best chance. Clarity Act, that's going to be a tough one. That is going to be a tough one. Now, the Dems, they want a CBDC. Why? Because you can control people with the CBDC by controlling their money. The Republicans do not want that. So now we've got Shark Week, awesome. We've got Crypto Week, even more awesome. And then we have Anti-Crypto Corruption Week. That one sucks massive balls. Yeah, you wanted journalism with some flair? There you go. Maxine Waters, I'm going to drag my nuts across your... Not going to finish that statement. Volume in crypto, 262 billion. Alts, still running. Fear and greed, 67 out of 100. Look for record-breaking news in regards to those ETFs tomorrow. XRP specifically, look, we're watching the charts all day long. Volume, 15.5 billion. So yes, we're all making money because of the green on the screen, but so are exchanges. Now let's get into what, everyone? The candlesticks. This is the daily candlestick. Homegirl is high. This one-day candlestick started low at 251, got you a high at 297. Now let's zoom into those 15 minutes so we can see what we're talking about. Double resistance here on the 15-minute at 297 and change. We have since rebounded from a low of 269. Nice. We've kind of pushed back up here on our way back down. This on the way back down movement coincides with what, everyone? Yeah, Maxine Waters' immediate release of Anti-Crypto Corruption Week. So the market was pricing in a whole bunch of optimism, and then Maxine has to pee in our Cheerios and push the market down. Now, granted, obviously we're still up in the long run. I mean, you can kind of look at it and see a lot of deep green on the screen. But now we have to start asking ourselves, how much power do the Democrats have? Because we barely got Trump's big, beautiful bill across, right? That was a 50-50 vote in the Senate, and the tiebreaker was Vance, yeah, the vice president. So now you look at the Genius Act going, okay, I don't know. We might have some problems there. The Genius Act's going to be our best chance, but we might have some problems. The Clarity Act, the way it stands, I don't think we're going to have a chance on that one. Now, anything can obviously happen, and guess what? We're going to learn what Maxine says next week in regards to Anti-Crypto Corruption Week. Does someone come out with an Anti-Shark Week? Like, are there people that hate sharks? Like, are there dolphins out there, and do, like, the dolphins go, yo, we're going to have an anti-shark week? Like, come on, I'm so tired of this fighting. Learn to work together to protect the American people, not to grandstand and do bullshit like this. This helps no one. And this is why next week is going to be so big. We're going to see what the pain points are. We're going to have a better idea, too, of what kind of support we got. Now, the anti-CBDC bill, the Dems freaking hate that because, they want to control us, especially when it comes to money. And that's what CBDCs are all about. They're all about controlling people with money. Ask China. Yeah, case in point. Now, in terms of the Genius Act, gotta be honest with you. We get stablecoin regs this year. I think a lot of us are expecting that, expecting it to happen. Is it going to be clean? I don't know. Is it going to happen fast? I don't know about that as well. Clarity Act. Oh, gosh. And that's the big takeaway, right? If stablecoin regs are easy, regs for the rest of crypto are definitely not going to be easy. Especially when you have anti-shark week, Maxine Waters coming out saying, we're going to fight you on this. I understand. I get it, okay? I really do. I'm not picking sides of the aisle or anything like that. I understand corruption in the government. But, how come we're not trying to fight, like, insider trading with stocks? What about real estate? What about all the other things that politicians seem to have the inside edge on? These people out there make like $200,000 a year, and yet they're worth like tens and tens of millions. Do the math. That doesn't make sense, does it? No, it doesn't. So now instead of Maxine and her friends being like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We're going to work with the other side of the aisle. We're going to reach hands across the other side of the aisle. You know what they're like? They're like, hey, we don't want to work with you. Bad. It's a thing of caulk, okay? I had it here. I was doing Windows. I know. I didn't have a better prop nearby. But that's what we're going to get. And it's frustrating because as soon as that announcement came, you started seeing the market soften up a little bit more and more. Coincidence? No, of course not. The market was pricing in the optimism that maybe we could get some juicy regaronis going. No, wait, hold up. Next week, we're not getting regs. Okay, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. Next week is not the vote for regs. They're just debating and discussing this stuff, okay? The vote for regs and all that stuff comes way down the road. So we got time. Next week is all about learning the pain points, what things might work, what things might not, and I don't know, Maxine and friends. But, hey, people voted her in. I mean, let's be real here. Warren got voted in again. Maxine got voted in again. The Sherman, like, you get my point. So, yeah. If you really want crypto to change, maybe get rid of the people that are anti-crypto. But I thought we did that with all those super PAC things. I guess once they get their money, they're just like, we got your vote, screw off. Hold on, let me blow kisses away to SBF like Maxine did. Bye, Boobala. Bye. Choo-choo nachos.